Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Allevo seed treatment to protect your soybean crop. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg. Under cloudy skies, we've got 45 degrees on the barn thermometer, although without the breeze, it feels a little warmer out than it did yesterday. It looks like once we get through today, it should be a nice weekend in the forecast ahead. For the end of October, cool nights and pleasant days aren't too bad. This quick calendar reminder, tune in during middays next week as we will have updates from the 98th National FFA Convention. We'll be checking in with FFA members from across the Buckeye State participating in contests and receiving awards, and that coverage brought to us by Wilmington College. Well, with the cold conditions overnight, much of the state, either last night or as we go through the weekend, will have had frost on the ground, and with that comes the risk for livestock producers of prussic acid poisoning. Now, many producers will graze cover crops in the fall, with the common mix being sorghum Sudan grass or a combination. And Iowa State University Extension forage specialist Shelby Gus said that when frost stresses these plants, they accumulate durin, a compound that breaks down into prussic acid. Now, if livestock consume forage with elevated prussic acid, it can lead to acute toxicity, muscle twitching, staggering, and even death in some cases. Producers who have these forages for fall grazing should be aware of the weather and remove cattle from those fields when frost is in the forecast. They say cattle should stay off these areas for at least 7 days. Now, if another frost occurs during the week, that restarts the clock. Following the week off the field where sorghum and or Sudan grass are present, it's important to scout for field regrowth, and the new growth can contain high durum levels, so they advise waiting until that regrowth is over 18 inches tall or until there's actually a killing frost. Prussic acid levels typically drop to safe levels for grazing 1 week after a hard freeze of 28 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 4 hours. Now, assessing the field and inspecting all the plants, even smaller ones on the interior of a dense stand, is important before allowing cattle back into that field. They say if a producer is unsure of the prussic acid levels, a forage test can be done at the university as well as other labs before grazing. Well, let's take a look now at your Friday and through the weekend weather forecast brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance. Online at seedconsultants.com.
Slightly warmer here across Ohio today. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Quick forecast update for you. We are seeing a little bit more sunshine work through, and because of that, I think our temperatures are up slightly. Winds start to turn more to the south and southwest over the weekend. That will bump temperatures a little bit more. It's not like we're racing right back to the way it was over a week ago, but we're going to get closer to where we should be. And then as we move into next week, we're going to be watching a weather system pass by to our south that throws clouds into southern parts of Ohio, and I won't rule out scattered showers and thunderstorms in southwestern parts of the state, but if you go north of I-70, I think you say dry, and we're able to move on with harvest fairly easily. Another shot of cold air coming late next week. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Well, fertilizer prices are making agricultural headlines once again as average retail fertilizer prices were mixed during the third week of October. Only one fertilizer had a significant move. That was anhydrous, which was 8% more expensive compared to a month ago with an average retail price of $838 a ton. Now, prices for three other fertilizers were up just slightly. DAP had an average price of $922 a ton, while MAP was up at $932 a ton, and potash came in at $486 a ton. Prices for the remaining four fertilizers were slightly lower compared to a month ago, with urea having an average price of $595 a ton, 1034 was $666 a ton, and UAN 28 came in at $414 a ton, with UAN 32 at $466 a ton. So if we break that all down to a price per pound unit nitrogen basis, the average urea price was 65 cents a pound unit nitrogen, anhydrous ammonia was 51 cents a pound, UAN 28 was 74 cents a pound, and UAN 32 came in at 73 cents per pound unit nitrogen. Stay tuned, we'll be back to take a look at your markets after this.
When you're buying seed, there's more to a transaction than money. You're exchanging time and trust, hoping each decision adds up at harvest. Seed Consultants sales professionals don't take that lightly. With products made to excel in the Eastern Corn Belt and agronomic knowledge that stands up to the test, we're all about the same things you are: reliability and results. Buy into a better seed experience. Visit seedconsultants.com to view our corn and soybean lineup.
Well, let's get a check on the latest numbers from the Mercantile Exchange. Today's livestock update brought to you by United Producers Incorporated, your partner in livestock marketing, credit, and risk management services.
This is Ryan Metzger with Life Mercantile, providing you with your end-of-the-week technicals. December 25 corn futures have the first level of support seen at $4.2325 and the first level of resistance at $4.30.5. November 25 soybean futures have the first level of support seen at $10.3725 and the first level of resistance at $10.48.5. December 25 wheat futures have the first level of support at $5.06 and the first level of resistance at $5.1675.
Thanks, Ryan. Well, let's take a look now at what's going on in those markets for a Friday, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. December corn is trading down 4.5 cents at $4.23.5. November beans down a penny at $10.43.5, and wheat for December down 2.25, $5.1075. Thanks for joining us. This is the Ohio AgNet.